What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bama Standard Network. I'll be one of your hosts today, Jonathan Lewis.
And I'm your other host, Daniel Petty.
All right, guys. Today, the AP poll was released, so that's going to be the topic of today's conversation. Alabama coming in at the number 8 position. I got a few words I got to voice out today. I'm sure Petty's got some things to say but before we get started, guys, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and make sure to comment along with this video as well. Give us your thoughts on the AP poll, whether it matters or not. It's preseason, right? Alabama coming in at number 8. Who would you put ahead of them, behind them, and all that good stuff? But with that being said, Petty, I'm going to bring up the AP poll itself. As you guys can see here, Alabama coming in at number 8, Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Oregon coming in ahead of them. Please give me your initial reaction on the AP poll rankings for Alabama at number 8.
Man, actually, I'm okay with it. Look, the AP polls are also, I mean, the polls this time of year are good for one thing, really, and that's to give us something to talk about.
Exactly.
Because in 2 weeks, and not to quote the most accurate football movie of all time, Varsity Blues, I mean, they won't be worth more than the Charmin Extra Mox wipes his butt with in 2 weeks. But what they are good for is you do want to be ranked high out of the gate, right? Say, look at Ole Miss at 21. They blow the game to Kentucky like they did the last year at 21, and you're all of a sudden out of the polls fighting to get back in. Whereas last year they were number 4 in the country. You're sitting there at Georgia, Alabama, even Texas, who opens up with Ohio State. You lose a game early, you're not dropping really out of the top 10, top 15, so it's easier to get back to that spot. So there is good in it. Like, it's good to be ranked in the top 10 because if you do have that early season slip up, it's easier to get back into the top 10. So I definitely wouldn't have anybody behind Bama in front of them. There's maybe some debatable ones in front that you might could have behind, but I like Bama at that 8 spot.
All right. So I'm going to give you screw it. I'm just going to say it. Look, I'm not happy with the position at Alabama at number 8. I would put them a little higher. And the only reason is because the people that are ahead of them. Now, I will give the committee one thing, and that's consistency. And by consistency, I mean every single team ahead of Alabama made the playoffs last year, and Alabama did not. So I'll give them the credit for them using that. And I got to take one shot at Florida State before we get off this video, and I'll talk about this as well. James Madison got more votes for the top 25 than you did.
Ooh.
I'm just going to throw it out there. But either way, we're not here to sit here and talk about that. The shot was given. Look, people are going to say, well, Alabama has an unproven quarterback. Okay, I get that. Texas has a what? Let's hear it. An unproven quarterback as well. Texas lost half their defense, right? So half their defense came from the transfer portal this upcoming season, by the way, when you go look at their roster. Penn State. When's the last time Penn State has done anything relevant?
Look, that's the one that's the hardest sell for me that's in front of Alabama. You know, Drew, everybody keeps praising Drew Allar. This is the guy that couldn't find his wide receivers in the playoff.
No.
His best wide receiver transferred to an SEC school. And James Franklin, while beating all the Purdue's of the world, never beats Ohio State or Michigan. So why are we giving love to a guy that's never beat the 2 best programs in his conference? So I'll be honest. Yeah, you made the playoffs last year due to the de facto. If you win 10 games and your schedule is kind of weak, you've got 2 built-in losses and 10 wins if you're competent. That's the one I have questions on. I'm to Penn State at number 2. I think I heard the last time they were ranked that high was like 99, 98. And I think we're revisiting it way too soon with this team.
Until James Franklin wins the big game, I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm tired of it. Talk about Drew Allar all you want to your blue in the face. How many rings does Drew Allar have? How many rings does James Franklin have? He was great at Vanderbilt. What he's done at Penn State has been really, really good for Penn State. But to Penn State's standard, if I'm a fan, I'm not pleased with that anymore because he doesn't win the big game, plain and simple. You know, your standards should be higher. You should want better for the program. As far as Texas goes, when's the last time Texas won the SEC?
Not yet. Boy, there's a lot of love and a lot of hype being put on. Like you said, man, you nailed it. Like Arch is the ceiling's there. We know it's there. We know the pedigree's there, but it hadn't done it on the field yet. Let's see it. Let's just pipe down a little bit. But man, we're putting them number 1 in the country with the expectations. I guess everybody just assumes it's going to happen.
I'm telling you. In Notre Dame, the last time Notre Dame was in a national championship game,
What?
Do we really want to have this conversation, right? Brian Kelly was the coach when they played Alabama, then, we can go on and on as far as what that looks like, going through Notre Dame's history. But Notre Dame has not won the big game for a long time, either putting him at number 6. I get it. Marcus Freeman's done a great job of recruiting, great job in development. But once again, I have the same questions over and over again. And to me, I'm good with putting the previous year's national champion at number 1, even as a de facto. Why? Because nobody's beaten them, right? When they won the national championship, nobody's beaten them since then. So I wouldn't have a problem. If you put Ohio State at number 1, I'm okay with that. If you put Oregon in the top 5, which I think they're well deserved to be in, by the way, because yes, I get it. They lost their quarterback in Dylan Gabriel, but Dante Moore and all that great stuff. The fact is Oregon went undefeated through the regular season last year.
They did.
I mean, there's no denying that.
Yeah, and look, AP writers, I have gotten lazy over the years. I think it's one of the ones I give the least credence to. But Notre Dame's a funny one, man. And they're speaking of AP writers. I mean, they'll blindly put Notre Dame in the top 10 until the day they die, and as long as they have a vote. But Notre Dame's a funny one for me. You brought up, the last time they were in a national title game, it wasn't competitive. And the last time they were competitive in a national title game was 1989-90 with Tony Rice and Rocket Ismail and Lou Holtz on the sideline. But I do think Marcus Freeman, they kind of caught my eye last year. And I'm a hater of Notre Dame. I feel like they get propped up by the media and everything every year. They play a puff cake schedule. Then they get to a major bowl game and then get popped in the face by whoever in the Fiesta, whatever bowl game. And they haven't really been competitive. Last year, Freeman had that team looking a little different. The offensive line's nasty. I know Love is one of the best running backs in the country. I'm okay. Like you said, they were in the playoffs, Notre Dame being there. I could see some stuff switched around, though. But Notre Dame's one that I've been a hater for, like you said, since the time Bama smoked them. But I'm kind of starting to become a believer in Freeman.
I got you. So you're playing the opposite role of me. Not so much because I do believe more in Freeman than I do in James Franklin, only because James Franklin has had such a long period of time at Penn State. When he first got there, I thought he was going to do great things, and he has done great things, but he hasn't won. Once again, it all comes down to national championships. That is what you're judged on. So really, when you look at the ranking at 8, I'm not too mad, right? Because if I was to move Alabama up, it wouldn't be very much. It would honestly be to like 6. I wouldn't put them probably even in the top 5. As a matter of fact, I have a top 5 in front of me, which I don't expect you to give if you don't want to. But my top 5, me personally, and let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. I would have Ohio State at number 1. I would have Georgia at number 2, because the fact is Kirby Smart's still at Georgia. The recruiting is still elite. I don't care what anybody says. The defense is going to be great. Gunnar Stockton, no, he may not be the elite of talent, but was Stetson Bennett an elite talent at quarterback? I mean, and he won how many national championships? You know what I mean? So, people can say it all they want. When I look at Clemson, I have no problem. Cade Klubnik and those guys, you know what I mean? And let me go through it here real quick. Sorry. Georgia, then I have Clemson at 3, and then I have Oregon at 4, because once again, Oregon goes undefeated through the regular season. They do beat Ohio State, right, in the regular season. That did happen. People want to forget that. And then I have Texas at 5 for one reason, is their schedule is as soft as shit. That's all there is to it. And they're going to be in that top 5 position because that's the way it laid out, just like they're going to lay into the SEC championship game, because once again, they get the red carpet rolled out to them with an easy schedule. So with that being said, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I want to argue, because I like to argue and have a counterpoint, but I don't think I do. I was looking at the list. I didn't have a top 5 written down, so I was kind of jotting it in my head, and I was like, okay, I'd have Ohio State number 1, defending national champion. They're bringing back a load of talent. Yeah, I know they've got an unproven quarterback too, but Julian Sayin was one heck of a prospect at one time. Caleb Downs are going to have one of the best defenses in the country. I would have Ohio State number 1, like you said. Georgia, they're defending SEC champions. They were in the Final Four. Exactly. They don't rely on having Aaron Murray or the quarterbacks of yore or Matthew Stafford to be great. They rely on great defense, and they're going to have another one this year. I'd have Georgia at 2. I'd have Clemson at 3. I think they're going to – 1, I think they're going to come out of the gate and pop LSU. 2, I think the ACC is weak, and they're about to walk the dog in it, and we could see a freaking undefeated Clemson team coming into the playoffs. And I'm also with you on 4. Oregon, Dan Lanning coaches SEC-style football out there. If you don't listen to this guy and love and kind of get fired up about him, you're not really a football fan. He's brought a different demeanor to Oregon, and like you said, man, they won it on the field last year in the regular season. They've held their own in the Big Ten out of the gate. I like them at 4. 5. I could go either way. This is the one I'd flip flop. I'd say Texas or Notre Dame at 5.
Yeah.
I am. God, I can't believe I'm saying this. Like Daniel from 2 years ago would get in a time machine and kick my butt. But I'm kind of bullish on Notre Dame. And again, their schedule plays in their favor. So give me Notre Dame. I'm going to go Notre Dame at number 5. Sorry, Texas. Y'all going to have to prove it a little more to me.
Agreed. And look, guys, this is all subjective. You know what I mean? So it's because at the end of the day, no matter who you put at the top, unless it's Clemson, right? So you have basically an unproven quarterback at this point, or a quarterback.
Everywhere.
You know what I mean? So, and people are gonna say, "Well, Drew Aller with Penn State." Well, no. I'm tired of this bull.
I've watched that kid live, ironically, and I didn't walk away thinking, "Boy, that was an NFL quarterback on the other sideline or the field." He's just a dude that could find his tight end every once in a while, and his tight end would make a spectacular play, and he had a hell of a 1-2 punch at running back and a real good defense.
Yep.
I'm somebody has to explain to me the Drew Aller love, but
I'm going to put a bet on it right now. Ty Simpson will have a better season than Drew Aller.
I'm in. I'm on that side of the craps table with you.
There you go. So any last words before we get off here?
No, look, again, this is the Charmin tissue comment rings true. More than likely in 2 weeks, this will look nothing alike, but it is good to be ranked, I believe, early in the top 10 because it's a lot easier to work with. Say things go south early on, but again, it's good fodder for guys like you and me.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I love looking into this stuff and criticizing everybody. But with that, guys, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and leave in the comments what you guys think about the rankings. Our rankings or whatever we talked about, all that good stuff, guys.
Tell us we're idiots. Alabama should be number 1 with all 62 first place votes. What are we thinking? Tide all the way. Roll Tide.
There you go, Daniel. Give your X account out real quick.
Oh, yeah. It's Petty_Daniel on Twitter. X. I'll just quit saying the Twitter thing. That's dead. And again, I'm getting a little more active on that thing. So give me a follow. We'll have some fun this football season.
Same thing here at Bama Fan Podcast. And make sure to follow the Bama Standard on all platforms as they're on YouTube. If you're watching this, right? X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the whole deal. Got a website, BamaStandard.com, all that good stuff. And yeah, that'll be it. We'll see you guys next video. And as always,
roll down Tide.